This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Boulder, Colorado. I'm here at Colonial National Mortgage. Since 1952, they have provided home loans to thousands of home buyers, and today they are among the largest mortgage lenders in the nation. I am joined with Gretchen Mueller, who is a mortgage loan officer here. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Gary.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. For yourself, you're formally educated as a graduate of Haverford College. You went on to receive double majors, actually double masters at the University of Phoenix. You've been a freelance writer for many sources in areas of finance as well as banking. 2020, you joined up with Colonial. Share with me why you felt this was a good fit for you.
I was actually thinking a little bit about how to answer some of these questions while I was driving here today, while I was getting ready. The interesting thing is, and I found that many people working in the finance industry have this sort of the same experience. I never really chose to work in banking. It just sort of happened. I kind of fell into the career. So it wasn't like, when I was 10, I thought, I want to be a banker when I grow up. I never sort of made a decision that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a, doctor. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be all sorts of things. I never really thought I want to be a banker. But I kind of fell into the profession. And I found that it's been a really good fit for me. I really enjoy what I do. I like to help people. I like to work with people. I like to find a way to find creative solutions to their problems. So it's been an interesting journey. It's been a journey with a lot of forks in the road, but it's ultimately been a really, really, fulfilling journey for me in the end.
Absolutely. The largest purchase that most of us make in our lifetime is really for a home, a house. Most of us are going to require some type of financing. Do you think it's still the American dream to be a homeowner?
Gosh, that's a really great question. I think that things have shifted a lot. The only thing probably in life that is unavoidable is change. Everything always changes. And I think that millennials have a much different experience than, baby boomers did. And I think millennials now are looking more towards, maybe buying condominiums and less buying, less of the white picket fence kind of dream. Right. But I do definitely still think that the American dream is to own a home and to, bring your kids up in a home with a dog and, the whole, 9 yards. I think that definitely is still the American dream.
That is interesting. As consumers are out there and they're applying for loans, what are some of their options to choose from? There's different types of lenders out there. You've got mortgage brokers, mortgage lenders, bankers. Where do you fit in that?
Well, as you say, there are brokers and there are lenders. There definitely is a whole slew of options if you're going to look for a home. I work for a bank. Colonial National Mortgage is a bank, and so I am not a broker. I can't sort of go to any outlet to provide financing. But that said, I can offer almost any product that a consumer is looking for. We have VA loans. We have FHA loans, we have conventional financing. So, if a consumer is coming to me and looking to finance a home in some way, I could offer almost any kind of financing they were looking for.
Interesting. Many times I've heard of folks who start with one company, then they find out later on that their mortgage was sold. Is this common with other types of lenders, and why is that not really an issue with Colonial?
That is a very, very common experience of many homeowners, is that their mortgage is sold. In fact, that was when I got my very first loan to buy a condo in Denver. That was a very confusing thing for me. I didn't quite understand why I bought a condominium and I, got a mortgage with XYZ, huge bank. And, 2 months later, I was sending my payment somewhere else. And I think that is a very common thing that happens, and it's very confusing for purchasers. Colonial National Mortgage in general doesn't do that. For the most part, we do not sell any of our loans. We service them in-house.
Yeah, that's interesting. So with Colonial, rest assured, you know who you're going to call for questions.
That's
you
right.
know basically what's going to be on the other end.
I will be your banker from the time that we begin our relationship together until the time that we pass on.
That is interesting. I mean, with a 4.9 Google rating, obviously customer service is important here. Is that something you enjoy providing for folks out there, is great customer service?
Absolutely, absolutely. If I were to tell you the number one thing that distinguishes me from another mortgage lender, it is the customer service I provide. One thing that I will tell you is that when I begin working with a customer, I plug their number into my phone, their name and their number, and I answer phone calls almost 24/7. I talk to my customers on holidays and weekends, always after 5 o'clock. I'm available to my customers almost anytime they need me.
I mean, regardless of the type of loan, like you say, you offer so many of them. Regardless of the type, you're really going to provide a service that goes well beyond the ordinary. Do you enjoy getting to know your clients and getting what they're, like you said, solving their problems, if you will?
Certainly, absolutely. My undergraduate degree is in psychology. And I worked sort of in that field for a while after I got my undergraduate degree. And I have found that working in this field, working in mortgage lending, has been a way to sort of continue that work without getting a graduate degree in psychology, without actually working as a psychologist or in a clinical role. I've been able to continue not counseling so much as getting to know people and finding a way to enrich and further their dreams and provide solutions to them and become a part of their family almost.
Yeah, really, I believe that. I mean, how important is communication throughout that process? I mean, this can be a journey that can have unexpected detours, challenges. Is it important to keep the client informed throughout that? Help them sleep at night, if you will.
It's absolutely crucial. I have found more often than not, a customer will come to you and tell you that they want to get a VA loan, and a VA loan won't end up being the right fit for them for whatever reason. So it's very important to listen to a customer and listen to what exactly that they need, what the end goal is, because the end goal is more important than the product that gets them there. So it's really important to understand exactly what they want and help them navigate that, help them find, what the appropriate product is, what the appropriate loan is, that will get them there with, with the minimum fees, with, the least amount of heartache and problems. Because, I'm the expert, and I'm helping my customer get what they want, get their dream, fulfill their dreams, fulfill their wishes with the least amount of problems.
I mean, speaking of dreams, Colonial offers banking, their insurance. Do you enjoy working in the mortgage department, part of that, knowing that mainly the people you're working with are really realizing a dream, maybe of home ownership? Is that exciting to help them and see them succeed in that?
Absolutely. There's nothing like working with a brand new home buyer, first-time home buyer, and seeing their eyes light up when they, get the keys to their first home. And then at the same time, somebody like my father, who is kind of an empty nester at this point, maybe is choosing to downsize. And, his eyes will light up in the same kind of way when he realizes that, he's able to downsize and have some of the burden lifted off of him of owning a 4,000 square foot house. And now he's able to, be in a condominium where maybe he doesn't have to mow lawn anymore, and he doesn't have to worry about cleaning such a large home. So no matter what stage you're at in the home ownership dream or the life process, it's always important for me, it's always fulfilling to be part of that journey.
That's interesting. I mean, this is a private held company since the early 50s. They're recognized by Fannie Mae as one of the top mortgage servicers in the nation. I imagine the industry has probably changed since back in the 50s. I mean, this is 70 years later. Is majority of this able to be done online now? And is it something that is really expedited and streamlined for both parties to make it possible?
Absolutely. One of the things that I love about my job is that I can do it from almost anywhere, which means that I can do it while I'm on vacation. It means that, which is good and bad, but I'm available to my customers anytime. But that's very true. I can, almost everything takes place electronically. When you get an email from me, at the bottom of my email is a link that takes you to my loan application. I can, if that's the choice of my customer, never meet them throughout the entire course of our relationship together. I never have to be in the same room with them.
Interesting.
So I can work with customers in any part of the country, any part of the world for that matter. Absolutely everything that happens through the course of the loan application, through the course of the closing, through the course of our whole relationship could take place online. After the loan application takes place, the due process procedures take place when we move through to closing. We send a mobile notary out to handle the closing. So if my customer is in South Denver, if my customer is in a different state, all of that can take place seamlessly without me ever leaving my home, without my customer ever leaving their home. So it is all entirely an online process.
That is so cool. I mean, whether an online or in person or a little mix of both, what should these consumers have ready? I mean, what docs at hand should they have so that the process is expedited and easy for both parties?
Well, of course, it depends a little bit on the type of loan and the amount and all of that. But generally, every customer needs to have some form of government-approved identification, driver's license, passport, something like that. And then from there forward, we would need tax returns. We would need some form of verification of income, so pay stubs or 1099. We would need something documenting a marriage or relationship or a separation, if that were the case.
Obviously, you have been able to experience first-time home buyer getting their new home, maybe an investor adding to his portfolio. Does this continue to be rewarding for you?
Oh, certainly. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine a point in time where I wouldn't find sort of fulfillment out of what I do. And one of the reasons why I think is that it's a continually ever-evolving sort of industry. What I like about this particular job is it's never the same transaction twice. It's always different, even if you're doing an FHA loan over and over and over again. Each one is different because the person is different. The details of the loan are different. It's always an evolving sort of job, an evolving adventure for me.
That is exciting. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What we're going to see is the website. First of all, on the website, you can learn more about this company. They began back in 1952. Take a look at all the different products and services they have there in detail. Check out the reviews. I mean, we're talking about a 5-star plus an A+ rated company by the Better Business Bureau. If you need financing for your dream home or your next investment, I mean, it's as easy as applying right there online from your easy chair in your home. You can go through the process, but obviously if you need someone to speak to in person, you've got a phone number. You can contact them as well. Basically, that is Colonial National Mortgage since 1952, providing home loans to thousands of home buyers, and today they are among the largest mortgage lenders in the nation. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.